refeed days in the midst of cutting is the key to getting shredded and staying healthy. Now let me tell you what I'm saying about that. Here we are, deep into this cut, feeling good, body is shredding up, and got a blood test, and it looked like my thyroid numbers were starting to trend a little bit upward, which is meaning it's more difficult for my body to produce hormone like thyroid hormone, which mean that it would be more difficult to keep that metabolism up. Pretty much the body after a while is going into protect mode, because it's like, you've been giving me a signal to shred for so long that we're in need of literal carbohydrates, honestly, to put those numbers back up. And the benefit there of making sure there's refeeds or carbs that are higher on active days, so cycling them, I'm gonna start pretty much putting my carbs, what I've been doing is carbs higher on my active days, and then we're gonna go carbs back down to kind of where I had them a little bit lower on rest days. And at that point, what's gonna happen is it's gonna just tell the body and give it the right signal to keep producing that thyroid hormone and fire up that metabolism. Because otherwise, what happens is, if that thyroid number starts going up and your body is working extra hard to keep up with pretty much you pulling back the carbs and trying to shred extra hard, you'll get fatigue, you'll get anxiety, you'll just feel kind of like performance is starting to lack. So the key is to pretty much on active days put those carbs up, and you'll feel the fullness, you won't get fat, it'll fuel the performance, and you'll even wake up looking better, fuller, stronger. And then pretty much on those rest days where I'm just doing cardio and there's no heavy weight training sessions, I'm back down to those regular carbs. So I'm pretty much where my carbs are. They're about like 275 on rest days, and on those active performance days I'm doing a boost of 125, which is going to put me right at 400 grams of carbs a day. Now, I wasn't at this whole cut, right? So getting to this point, this really lean point right now, the difference is we're getting really, like, there's not much to lose, right? The body's at this place where like our body fat is low, there's not much else to take off. So that's why the thyroid hormone, pretty much the best way I can explain it through ChatGPT and just learning a little bit more about it is, the body is just quite literally telling you, we're trying not to die. When your body fat gets really low, it's gonna do whatever it takes because it just thinks you're withering away at that point. It's like, no, we need to hold on to some body fat. We need to make sure there's some weight on us. So at this point, the best thing that is gonna be able to happen to maintain a lean state, but also feel strong and mentally just have good brain energy for life and not just get crazy amounts of fatigue or exhaustion through the day and have to rely on caffeine and all kinds of things, is just making sure on the active days I'm bumping that carb up. That should stimulate that thyroid hormone, and the energy is going to be put to use for performance, and it's just not going to allow my body to drop back into that danger zone where it's going to go where there's fatigue or anything like that. And then we could pull back on the carbs on the rest days and go, we're gonna be all right because we're kind of balancing out with how many calories we're intaking and outputting. It's gonna be really interesting because I'm gonna check in with the biofeedback, and so far so good. What's crazy is when you bump those carbs and have those high carb days, a difference in like around 100 grams of carbs at a lean state is very significant. So this has been a really good experiment. I hope it helps you guys when you get deep into the cut. Now at the beginning of your cut, you're gonna want to make sure that you're still gonna do refeeds, right? When you're feeling depleted, but it's not as much needed because you're holding on to extra body fat, more stored glycogen. You've got a lot more energy to play around with. But But I'm talking about this lean state right here, this shredded state, how it's possible. It's possible with making sure these carbs are on point around active days, so that thyroid hormone is stimulated and electrolytes are really right there too. And of course, everyone knows the sleep, everything else, but I hope this helps you in that lean, shredded state, understand kind of the mentality and the way we have to play around with food. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. We'll see you.